Hi, I'm Susan, and I am going to try a little experiment today with planting potatoes that aren't actually seed potatoes. There's been a huge run on seed potatoes, plus I'm a little bit late. And although a lot of folks say you shouldn't try to plant store-bought potatoes, I'm going to try anyway. The difference between seed potatoes you get at your nursery or greenhouse and potatoes that you get at the grocery store are kind of important. The potatoes you get at the grocery store have been treated usually with some kind of growth inhibitor, like this kind of old yucky one. This is not an organic potato. I don't even remember which kind this is, but you can see that it does have the start of little tiny eyes, but they're really pitiful. And this is a pretty old potato. So I know this one's been treated with an inhibitor. The other thing about seed potatoes, besides that they have not been treated with that growth inhibitor, is that often they have been, good ones have been certified disease-free. So you could get a store-bought potato like these. This one's organic. I don't think has the growth inhibitor, because it's already really raring to go. These might have a disease, and if you planted those in your regular garden, your soil might be diseased, and if you try to plant actual good seed potatoes in the future in that same soil, you might have really kind of did yourself and your potato crop a real disservice, because fixing that is kind of hard. So, for this weird experiment, I'm going to plant in a bucket and a couple buckets actually. I have this small one, and then I have a much larger big barrel behind me too. So if I have enough good looking eyes, I will probably plant both. That way, let's say there is bad potato disease in here, I won't have messed up my garden soil out back with my nice garden. The other thing that is kind of neat about planting in a bucket is the harvest is a lot easier at the end. Once they have gone all the way to maturity and it's time to harvest, all you need to do is dump it out and sort through the soil, and you should have a lot of nice potatoes. Fingers crossed. You can't obviously put as many potato seeds or potato plants in here as you maybe normally would. If you pack them in, you'll just have a lot of tiny little potatoes. If you space them out, you'll have bigger potatoes. First things first, we're going to drill some holes in this bucket for drainage. So let's pretend this is a proper seed potato after all. Even though you and I both know it's not. You need at least 1 to 2 eyes per seed potato ideally. I have cut my potatoes so that there are a couple of eyes. Actually, there's quite a few eyes per little potato. I am going to mix some potting soil and some compost. I have shredded grocery bags and some pine needles, and I'm going to mix some of that into this whole big mess too. I have about 5 or 6 inches of my soil mix in this bucket. I have chosen 3 of my store-bought, gonna try to make them seed potatoes. They have a lot of nice eyes on them. I'm going to place them cut side down. Then I'm going to cover them with a couple more inches of my soil mix. As these grow through this, I will probably 1 or 2 more times put another, few inches of this soil mix over the top of them. If I see any potatoes peeking out, I definitely need to make sure that I cover them, because if the sun hits them, that can cause them to have a reaction and actually be become poisonous, so we don't want that. So we want to keep them in the dark and keep them moist. If you had seed potatoes, you could actually choose the variety and the maturity time. So this is a total wild card. We're just gonna have to wait and see. So we'll water this, we'll put it in full sun, and we'll just cross our fingers and our toes that we get some potatoes at the end of the day. That's all. Thanks for watching.